Good morning, good morning, good morning. Read an article, thought I'd share. The picture may be a little bit fuzzy. Uh, it wasn't taken with a really good camera, so this is just like just a little flash of the picture. I know it's not clear. My apologies. But Relevant magazine posted an article that was entitled. Unfortunately, I don't have internet, so I can't get to the actual website. I just took a picture of some of the things that I was reading, and you may not be able to see it on the screen, so I'll just read it to you. And this is not the title of the article. This is just something that the article said. And it just caught my attention. It really caught my attention because this is something that I think myself. It was odd to see the thought coming from elsewhere. But what it says, it was talking about, okay, the title, the little subsection here is entitled How We Spend Our Money. You can see that clearly, I'm sure. How we spend our money. But you know what, that makes me think the article is talking about the difference between the church as in what it was originally structured from as per the scriptures themselves. The New Testament scriptures gives descriptions or happenings or events, things that took place among the church. And if you really take a biblical look at it, you'll see that the church then is extremely different from the church right now. And it's a little unnerving. Right now there's a lot of just bad talk about the church as in it being just foolishness and all a lie. And so much of that as according to what is presented at these services, church organizational services, it is. I can't disagree with that. I don't get mad at it or anything like that, because as I attend the service, I see that it's foolishness. But the scriptures, the book, the foundation, the basis of it all, in my understanding, is the scriptures, the Bible, the Holy Bible. That's what I'm talking about. With or without the canonical script. With or without the apocryphal books. Just the Holy Scriptures. And actually, the message of salvation being the most important thing. Law and the message of salvation being like the two most important things. But this was a section of that article, and one of the differences that they were talking about were how we spend our money. Talking about basically how the church today spend its money versus the way the church back in the days of the Bible, the days that the scriptures talk about, the days that the scripture actively illustrate. Had a little minor interruption just then. But just still want to continue on discussing this little tidbit about this article that was actually talking about or discussing how we spend money in the church nowadays. And what it says is many churches today spend most of their revenue on salaries, building mortgages, and other material supplements to ministry. Look at any church budget and you'll probably find 1 or 2% of the church funds allocated to benevolence, helping poor people in need. Maybe another 5% or 10% at best is given to needs outside the churches that on some level help the poor. And that's a little bit hard to read, but just one of the differences of the church that I understand and that I see and that I agree with. And for that reason, I was once an avid churchgoer, and I still am a church-goer, just not as avid for various reasons. But I was also an avid tithe payer, and I'm not ashamed to say that I no longer am. And this is basically what after reading the scriptures, I saw that the scriptures called for money to go to benevolence, and the money in the church I just did not see going to benevolence. Honestly, I just always felt like it wasn't any of my business as to where the money went, but I found that too was not a scriptural notion or something scriptural to say or to pick up. So one of the many reasons why I decided to curve my thoughts on tithe giving, one of the reasons that I would say is probably really half of the reasons possible. But then in that same article, I came down and read just a little further, and there were disagreements. And in another video, I'll talk about the disagreements, but that's just something to think about. To anyone who holds high regard in tithing. No, am I saying to not tithe at all? No, of course, that's not what I'm saying. All right. I'm just saying we just really should pay attention to what we're doing, and also, probably more important, why we're doing it.